Have you ever struggled with the idea of a comprehensive way to take notes, whether you take them on a digital device like a computer or a phone or a tablet, or paper, digital versus paper? Which is the best way to take notes? This is something that I've gone back and forth over the years. If it's something that you have struggled with or you're wondering about, stick around for a few minutes because I'm going to outline some pros and cons, and we're going to look at some different ideas, and maybe it'll help you come to a conclusion about which is best for note-taking, digital or paper. But before we get started, let's turn on some tunes. Yeah, that's better. Okay, let's jump in. Spoiler alert, I thought that digital was the way to go for a long time, but I'm doing this thought exercise where I'm listing out the pros and cons, and I'm kind of giving it some thought. So let's jump in. One of the first things to do, at least is what I did, is I made a list of all the different things I write down in the form of notes. I've got to-do lists, I've got journal entries, notes from meetings with clients or networking associates, things I need to buy, things I need to research, reviews on how things are going in my life, emails, notes to families and friends, just notes on classes I take. That's my list. Your list will probably vary, but to wrap my head around the subject, I wanted to make a list of all the things that I write down and use that as a springboard for determining which one is best, digital or paper. The next part of my thought process was, let's list out the pros and cons of each. So I'm going to do that for you real quick. As far as paper note-taking, I think the pros of that are you connect better with what you're writing if you handwrite, and studies also show that you remember the content better, and also it's easier to keep your content private if you keep it in a notebook. Those are some pros of using paper. Some of the cons of using paper, it takes longer to write. For a lot of us, tapping out notes on a keyboard is faster than handwriting, and maybe your hand gets tired like mine does. You have a lot of thoughts to sort out and you're just really going for it, and then you're like, my hand is tired. That's a con of using paper. And then if you want to keep them with you, you have to lug a notebook around, which may be fun, may not be the most convenient thing. The fourth con is that it generates physical clutter. You've got notebooks, you've got post-it notes, loose pieces of paper, whatever it is, whatever you use to take notes, you have that paper scattered about. Okay, so let's move on to digital. What are some of the pros of using digital? For one, it's faster, and to me, I think it's more efficient. You have apps like Evernote or OneNote where you can write your notes and then you can organize them however you want. And then for me, I use Evernote, and so I can start those Evernotes wherever, and then I can pick them up on my phone and I can adjust, I can reference them when I'm out and about without having to carry a notebook with me. So that's really handy. And then if you go the digital route, you have the advantage of things like Google Calendar, reminders, to-dos, so you have it all handy with you, and your Google Calendar or whatever calendar system you use, again, travels from your computer to your phone, so it's always with you, which I find is super handy. And finally, it's easier to share and archive information if it's in digital format. You can email a file quickly, you can take screenshots and text it or whatever. You can share it and you can archive it and organize it in, I think, a more streamlined fashion. With that being said, let's look at some of the cons of using digital. The first one is it's less secure. If you have all your information stored digitally, it's subject to things like computer viruses, hacking, theft, equipment failure, and so those are all the risks that we take when we keep our notes on digital devices. And then a lot of it's stored in the cloud. If you have Office 365 or a program where it's not stored locally on your computer, we have to remember that the cloud is basically someone else's computer. You're paying a service to store that information, but whoever you're paying, it's sitting on their computer somewhere. And so that just, it might give you pause. It gives me pause. Like, do I want to store all my information, some of which may be sensitive, on someone else's computer? That's a decision that you have to make for yourself. And a lot of those software programs, all of them have those terms and conditions pages that are super long. And so do we all read those? There's probably about like 7 or 8 people in the entire world that read the entirety of those terms and conditions. So we don't really know what we're signing up for. We have the capability to, but we often are too lazy, looking at myself here, too lazy to do the work of reading through all those terms and conditions. Like, oh yeah, it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. Maybe it's not. Maybe we'll never know until something bad happens. If you're looking at software to store things in the cloud, there's fees involved in software and data storage, whereas it's pretty cheap to go out and buy a notebook. So there's a financial con. And then I mentioned the paper clutter with paper note-taking, but there's digital clutter too. Our devices can get super chaotic. Our computers, phones, if we don't keep our digital files organized. In the digital camera era, we take so many selfies and random pictures, and then we go to organize them, and it's like, oh, what is all this stuff I have to wade through? A lot of this is not worthwhile, but it takes a lot of brain calories to sort through all that and decide. So digital clutter is a real thing too. So I looked at all the ways I take notes. I looked at these pros and cons, and for a long time I thought that digital was the way to go because it's faster and more efficient. I will confess to you, I'm kind of a data nerd. I'm always trying to optimize the way I do things for maximum effectiveness and efficiency, and so I'm actually trying something new. I love Evernote for keeping track of the work I do for clients because it's easy to categorize and file away and organize. But the things for my business and my personal life, I find that the categories are a little bit more vague and hard to come by, and so my Evernotes for Summertime Communications, which is my company, and for my areas of personal growth and journaling are a little less organized. And so I'm trying something different for my personal life. I just bought this Panda planner. This was recommended to me by a colleague, and I'll drop a link to it down below in the description. But this has a lot of the things, kind of the reflection things that I was working on in my Evernotes, kind of a scatter shot of different things I'm trying to keep track of in my personal and business life. And this Panda planner has built in to the note-taking system a way to do some of those reflections that I've been doing in a disorganized way digitally. And so I'm giving this a try. What I'm doing is I am looking at the things that are best done digitally, and I'm considering the things that may or may not be done best digitally, and I'm open to trying new things like the planner. And so I'm trying the planner for my personal administrative notes and business administrative notes, and I'm going to see how it works. And so I think a big takeaway is you have to decide what works for you, and you have to give yourself the permission to try different things and realize that there may not be a simple black and white solution. I wrestled with this for so long because I thought, okay, I want to do all digital because that's the most efficient. But then I was like, well, there's some notes that are better handwritten. What do I do? And so I stalled. But basically what I've decided is that some things are better digital, some things are better handwritten in notes or journals or planners. And so I'm going to keep doing the things that are working for digital organization and writing, and I'm going to try this planner out, and I'm going to evaluate how it works for the next couple of months, and then I'll be ready to decide if something needs to change again. So that's what I've decided. So for you, I'm just really curious to know, how do you manage your notes? Are you all digital? Are you all handwritten? Are you somewhere in between like I am? I guess the takeaway and the encouragement that I would give you is to examine all the things that you write down throughout the course of a day and just really evaluate what's the best way to do each one of those, and give yourself permission to break free from an all or nothing answer and try different things out. So I'd love to hear your thought processes, the type of notes you take, the way you take notes, and what you are trying. What's working for you? I'd love to hear it. Drop a comment below. And in the meantime, thanks for watching. Appreciate you. I'll see you in the next video.